Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I just wanted to say up front at the start of this video, I hate the incline bench. Worst exercise ever. Worst exercise ever as far as big barbell lifts go, but I'm training it. Now, I'm saying it's the worst exercise ever because I don't like it. Not a contested lift. I find it awkward, I find it difficult. So over to the point. If that's the case, why am I training it? Well, because I find it awkward, I find it difficult, and it's most likely because the weaknesses in my chest and triceps and things like that, it brings them out, right? It brings them out, right? I have long arms. I have a long wingspan. For those who say, no, you don't, I've measured it. I know what my wingspan is. I know what average is. Mine is long. So for me, pressing in general can be difficult, and because you take an exercise like the incline bench and I already have a long range of motion, the range of motion is longer on the incline bench. Longer on the incline bench. It allows for a deeper stretch in the chest than a lot of other barbell presses do. And a lot of times I might recommend dips for that, and I think dips can work oftentimes for the similar role. But if I want to get more barbell work in, which is what I'm trying to do right now for my benching, I'm trying to bench specialize a bit. So I want a lot of my upper body accessory movements to have good carryover to the bench press. And I feel that for now, more barbell work is better. If I wasn't trying to do that, I might throw in the dip. But I'm actually pretty good at dips. And I suck at the incline. Like, I'm really weak at the incline. You guys have seen me strict press, standing press, 225 overhead with the paws off my chest, right? You've seen me do it recently, a couple months back. I close grip bench like over 300 with a pause. A flat bench, medium grip with a pause, well over 300 and going up. But look how weak I am at the incline. I can't even get 10 reps at 225. Like 8 is really hard. Sets of 8 are almost at my limit. Like I'm within a rep of failure. So we come over to the point. I suck at this lift. What is it that I tell you guys all the time? If you suck at a lift or you hate a lift and it is a basic exercise, you probably suck at it because you're, number one, not always built to do it well. Number two, it's working muscles that are weak links for you in your overall strength chain. And if you're bad at an exercise, you need to get good at it. Your worst lifts, it would be a good idea to spend some time training them until you get good at them. Now, does that mean you need to stay with that lift forever until it becomes a great lift? Maybe not. But it's probably a good idea for well-rounded strength. You know, and let's come over to the point. What do people historically say about me? No, that my squat and my deadlift have been pretty good. In fact, for a guy my age, they're downright great. But everyone always says, you know, Jason's strong at overhead press. Even a lot of people are like, actually, I'm surprised you're that good at weighted chin-ups. But everyone's like, but his bench kind of sucks. Right? Which is why I'm bench specializing right now. Well, we take something that's a close variation of the bench press. It's a commonly performed exercise that we see a lot of guys on YouTube. There are guys on YouTube repping 315 on the incline bench. Some of my contemporaries, people I'm competing with for viewer space, I might be able to out squat and out deadlift them, but they can beat me on that incline. Seriously? Well, that's a problem, isn't it? That's a problem for my upper body development. It means there's a weakness in there. There's a muscle in their upper body involved in their chest that these guys are stronger than me on. Now, people will say silly stuff like, well, you should compare yourself to other lifters. And that's complete bullshit. That's complete bullshit. You know what? Because you go to any hardcore powerlifting gym before you even touch the big three, when you go hit an assistance movement, everyone knows if you go hit a heavy assistance movement, they can probably pin down what your close lift is. They know where you stack up against everybody in that gym. Right? If you walk into a hardcore gym and everyone in there is doing an incline bench between 365 and 400 for a couple reps, and you watch them do it, and you jump under it and do it, and you can only hit like 3 reps with 275 or 285, everybody in that gym knows they can outbench you. Right? And if all of the guys in that gym are really strong bench pressers and they're better at you with some close variation, floor press, incline, right? Anything, any assistance movement, If they're stronger than you at it, you probably need to catch up to them, right? You need to catch up to them. So, we take the incline bench. I'm weak at it. Now, arguably, my chest is pretty big. My triceps are a weak link. But you know what? After doing the other work, even today, and today's workout, of course, that's been going to be a while back before this video comes out, I couldn't even do the incline bench with any weight because my triceps were so shot from my dynamic work. And my triceps were cramping. Therefore, my triceps are still a weak link in the incline. And it's putting that deeper stretch on my chest. So we have a variation like this that is clearly working my chest, putting a stretch on it, training me for a good stretch reflex on the chest, working a weak link in my chest, apparently pretty hard when I'm struggling with the weight on it. All right, that's a possible weakness. This will help keep my chest strong. And what's one of the things we're trying to do with some of these more awkward lifts? We want to take lifts that are lighter than our big lift. All right, I think one of the big mistakes a lot of people do with assistance movements is that they want to take some variation of the main lift that allows them to lift more weight, or they call it overload. Well, from a recovery perspective, you can't train it as much. All right, if you're weaker on the incline than the flat bench, you can probably do a little more volume on it and still recover. Same thing with the floor press. All right, so doing some of these variations for volume that you can handle lighter weights on and get similar amounts of stimulation from a recovery perspective is probably a better deal. And particularly if you're weak at them. If you're weak at them, you're going to be forced to use an even lighter weight. But you're going to be using a lighter weight because you're weak and you're taking things to their limit. You can be actually doing fair amounts of volume and hitting some of your weakest links on a basic movement. All right, you'll thicken those things up. You'll thicken those areas up. You're working a movement pattern. So the incline bench stretches the pecs a lot. I mean, look at the range of motion on that. Look how far that bar moves. My God, when I'm doing it. Right? This is a fantastic hypertrophy exercise. I'll argue all day long that the standing press is a better upper body lift. And for total upper body, it is. You're talking about your whole shoulder girdle, traps, delts, all of that, the standing press is better. Core activation, absolutely better. But what about just your chest? Maybe front delts. Incline is better. And I need to be hitting all those things. Again, if my bench is a weak link, I need to be getting strong at every bench accessory that I'm weak at. I'm strong at the close grip bench. That's not a problem for me. I'm strong at the floor press. I'm sure weak at this incline. So if I'm weak at the incline, I need to bring it up. And maybe I do have a chest weakness. I do have a chest weakness then on my bench press. Maybe my triceps are really strong, but they're still just small. I don't know. Maybe I've got a good leverage in my triceps. Maybe that's why my triceps grow so much slower on some lifts than others. Maybe I have an efficient leverage for them. That's one reason I'm a tricep dominant bencher. But I really need more pectoral. I need more pectoral to make sure that as I continue to hit all this tricep work, that my pecs don't become the weak link. Well, maybe I need all of it. So I'm going to go on a limb and say at my body weight and overall size, the fact that my bench is where it is, there are probably parts of my chest, and maybe it is in the upper portion of my chest, that need to grow. In addition to my triceps need to grow. So I need to make all of these areas bigger. And so for me, we come back to one of the philosophies I've told you guys. If there's a basic exercise that you're weak at, and it's a weakness for you, you need to train it till you're strong at it. And I'm weak at this lift. So if I'm going to be consistent with the philosophy, if I'm going to do as I tell people to do, I need to do this. And you know what? I'm predicting my bench press will go up. All right? Hit this chest exercise. The weakest chest exercise for me is the incline. I'm weaker at it than everything else. All right, if I get stronger at that, and I thicken up my triceps, which I'm continuing to work my triceps really hard. Twice a week, I am hammering my triceps. Well, if I strengthen and thicken those areas up more, my bench will probably go up. And then maybe my bench press won't be my weak link anymore. Then something else, like my deadlift will be my weak link, and I'll have to work on that a bunch. I mean, we're working everything, but I'm trying to be a little more bench specialized because my bench is my weakest link. But out of my bench press accessories, the incline is my weakest link. And how do you get strong at a main lift? You need to get strong at the accessories for that lift too. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.